Hi everyone, welcome to this live coverage. We are here as usual with Dave Pinkert, Yohay Elam, and Mauricio Carrillo, and me, of course, ready to help you go through this in the market in a really long week and in this Friday. Anyway, we are waiting for the GDP advanced reading of the US, which is usually the one that moves most because it's a surprise, right? It's the first reading, the first estimate. And overall, the market is waiting for a 0.8% increase during the 3 last months of the year. It's weak. It's really weaker than the 2% of the third quarter final reading. But we have already had some anticipation of this weak growth in the U.S. over the end of the year, given by Janet Yellen earlier this week when the Fed statement. Anyway, how are you guys?
Great to be back with you guys. We did a doubleheader this week, twice this week.
Yeah, we have.
To me, Val, what Kuroda did is supersedes the GDP number.
What again?
Yeah, U.S. dollar yen. People are surprised, but
yeah.
like I was telling Yohay, we talked about 121 yesterday. It got there maybe in a different fashion than we thought it could, but here it is. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah. Now the question is there follow-through from this in equities and the yen, or is this short-lived and this is a shorting opportunity and risk off in the next couple of days with the S&P? So the S&P chart doesn't look great to me. It just looks like it's moving sideways. So I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Important to know if this is a failing rally in the end, or it has a chance to rally back to the highs again.
Well, if you ask me,
sure. Like I said, I always learn from you.
The pair is above this Fibonacci retracement, which is the 61.8% retracement of the latest decline. So seems good for me towards the upside, right? At the time being, it's all about holding above that 2060 level, which is also the 100 simple moving average in the daily chart. So as long as we close the day above that level, we can go higher, you know.
You actually show it going back to the highs around the 23 area.
Yeah.
And then if we get through 23, set 116 to 123 is 700 pips. I do it arithmetic targets, and then we take out 123 at 700 gives you 130. Which, if you look at the weekly, that would be the third drive on a weekly chart, and I bet it diverges if that happens too. So, yeah, that's why I mean it's critical, isn't it? What the yen does for world stock markets, etc., bond markets.
2820 seems a probable target. It's the 161.8% retracement.
So, guys, what are we expecting today for the GDP? What number is we're expecting? Val, yes?
0.8%.
0.8%.
Yeah, I think the real expectations are a bit lower because we had the terrible durable goods orders figure yesterday. So I don't think it'll be negative because the Fed talked about slow growth and not contraction, but I think it'll be a bit closer to zero after the terrible, especially the core durable goods orders, which is a sort of warning sign about the U.S. economy.
The currencies are forecasting a surprise to the upside because the dollar was weakening pretty good yesterday and snapped back pretty good too. The pound broke out over that ascending triangle, and now it's back beneath it. So it was good for a trade, but it didn't turn out to be the kind of trade. Short-lived rallies in both the euro and pound yesterday. So I think that traders are positioned for maybe a better than expected one.
Oh, okay.
If they're right, I mean, they could be wrong just like me.
Yeah.
But it seems like that's what they did is, yeah. Can't stop this dollar.
Yeah, the king dollar.
King dollar, king dollar. But the dollar is not that strange lately.
Every time it's going to break down like it's in a wedge, the dollar index chart, it took out the wedge line, and it rallied. I think it's back inside of it. So it could have been a breakdown day, except for how it recovered.
Yeah.
Maybe the strong dollar is how the yen gets to 130.
Not today.
Yeah. Not today, but I do think there could be some follow through.
But maybe by the end of March into the equinox spring.
Yeah.
Everybody is forecasting a kind of big collapse in the middle of the year, right, Dale? Your interviewers, like Harry Dent and Martin Armstrong, have saying the same for the second, in the middle and the second part of the year, right?
I think a lot of people, are looking for a negative second half. Yeah, sell in May and go away. People be watching that, especially with the January we had. Even though we've rebounded, I still think it's the worst January on record, or at least since
at least in
2007.
Yes.
Yeah, one of the worst, for sure.
So, Yohay, may I ask you about what people are talking in your show this morning about the GDP, about the outcomes, the possible outcomes and effects in the price?
Yeah, they were asking about GDP and the impact, mostly about euro dollar. I try to hint all the time, or not hint, say that euro dollar is very frustrating. That there are other currency pairs to trade, but it's the number one currency in the world, currency pair in the world. So, and I'm not sure the reaction will be so straightforward, because if we have a really terrible US GDP figure, if it goes negative, danger of recession in the United States, it could be, of course, positive for the euro because the dollar would be weaker, right? But if we have a really good outcome, 2% growth or something like that, that could be sort of a risk-on environment, and then negative for the euro. So it's not. That would be a more straightforward reaction. Sorry, but I'm not sure. I mean, it's a bit mixed with the safe haven flows in the euro, and with the action from the Bank of Japan today, it sort of knocked off the Japanese yen, at least for today, in my opinion, as the safe haven currency of choice. So at least for today, the euro could be more complicated to trade.
Guppy got to some of the targets we were talking about in LAR this week, 174, 175. That's been a nice rally. So,
a huge rebound,
Yeah, he's testing what line is that, the yellow one?
It's a 200-day.
200 days.
That's a 4-hour Guppy chart.
Oh.
So this was the one more than the pound because, of course, it had the jet fuel of the yen. Just like euro yen, we were talking 130 euro yen exceeded those expectations. So I believe Aussie yen also had a decent day. I still think euro pound is going to go down to 74.20. Maybe it tries those highs again, but I don't think we're going to make new highs there. So I know it's hard for me to get bullish the euro. And after yesterday, it's hard to be constructive on the pound. It broke out and then negated the breakout. So it looks ugly again.
Yeah.
So far, crude hasn't given it back, though.
No.
Not really. So here is Todd is asking for our expectation on the GDP. I already know that we told at the very beginning, but perhaps we can have a recap, Valeria, on that. What are our expectations for your expectation for the GDP this morning?
I actually agree with Yohay that it may come weaker than the 0.8% expected. But I have not much of a clue of what we can get today, to be honest. Right? But still, I'm expecting a weak number. I do believe that a better than expected figure will be a really surprise. Then the dollar can rally, at least intraday. But I'm generally waiting for a soft number.
A soft number, lower than expected. So it will mean like a euro dollar a little bit upside, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure
Or
about
not?
that. We have a wall in there, the trend line, the 100 simple moving average, the Fibonacci. This is the same that, unfortunately, we are talking about the same levels that we discussed last Wednesday when we have the Fed, right? It has a lot in the way. It can clear this area ever since the year started, 950, 980. So I don't know. I need to see the pair, as I said many times, above this December high, 1060, to begin talking about bullish euro, right? In the meantime,
Yeah.
spikes towards the level have been steadily attracting selling interest. So I'm not sure if I will be brave enough to buy the euro.
There's got to be a ton of stops over 985.
Yeah.
People have had a lot of time if they're bearish and they're looking for 106, 105. That's where the stops are. There's probably even more. That was part of the reason I was constructive a few weeks ago. I thought there'd be a stop hunt, but the action has just been so frustrating. I kind of let go of that. But every time I see a chart like that, I go, God, there's so many people that could be taken out just above 109.85, and we know how the algos love to go for that type of liquidity.
Yeah, then we probably had more selling interest around 110. So
yeah.
It's a wall. Have you said before? It's a wall, a very good wall.
And Bell, I saw your Swiss chart. It looked like it had two drives, implying that there could be maybe one more.
Yeah.
The U.S. dollar Swiss there.
It
seems to be diverging up there too. That implies a euro rally if the Swiss is peaking up here.
Dale, there is a question for you.
Option.
Yeah, there is a question for you. Do you have any target on a bullish GBP?
For me, no.
Yeah, for Dale. Todd is asking Dale about targets in the cable.
No, well, yesterday I liked it. I said the day before that you could buy it against this channel line here, and that we're going to have a breakout over this 4360. But anytime a market negates the formation, it's no longer valid. So I don't know. I guess if you want to be bullish, it still could say it's holding a trend line, but doesn't have a great look to me. I think I'd rather be a seller now at 3.5.
Yeah, I'll join this sentiment from a different angle, as usual, saying that for the pounds, we have a rate decision next week, and we could have a repeat of the dovish comments from Carney, and perhaps a unanimous vote against the rate hike. So I also see more downside in cable than upside.
The super bears, and I've seen a few, actually have targets of 133 in cable.
Below the post-crisis low.
Yeah. Right around there. And when you think about it, Yohay, a lot of things have done that, right? Oil. So, it's not unusual that something, commodities, the CRB. So there are a lot of things that got cratered in the financial crisis and recovered that are now testing or taking out the lows from 08.
Yeah, stop hunting.
That's the reason why people think maybe the stock market has some catch-up to do with everything else back down to crisis levels. It's the only disconnect so far.
Yeah, I've seen a nice chart with correlation between QE and stocks. Let me try to find that. And it shows that here it is. I think you can see it on the screen.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it's close correlation between mostly QE3, the gradual monthly buys of bonds from the Fed, supporting the recent rally, and then when the Fed tapered and finally stopped buying more bonds, this line sort of caps the S&P. And yeah, it's an interesting chart.
So, and then the tightening was the third move, and that took the market down.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing happened in 1937. Fed tightened too soon. A lot of people are making those parallels.
Yeah, sort of the false dawn, the second recession.
Yeah.
We want Bernanke. We want Bernanke back. We need his helicopter.
Yeah. Unlimited amounts of cash.
We need more hopium.
Hopium. So 10 minutes to go.
Yeah. Go.
I believe we'll have more excitement than on Wednesday, at least.
What?
What decision? There wasn't decision. There was not event on Wednesday. So the question is that is within if we will have an event or a non-event.
Hey, I hope we have an event.
So what is the most likely part that will have the more let's say violent or more volatility after the GDP, in your opinion? I don't know. Well, usually after events, there are the dollar Japanese yen that made the first movement. But in this case, in this kind of markets, what do you think? What will be the pair to follow? Will react the first, but.
I do agree with that. The dollar Japanese yen will probably be the first one. I'm expecting some reaction, nice reaction from pound also. And the rest is catching between data and sentiment and oil. So I would like to see some breakouts of levels of lows or highs, see some follow through. And overall, for the OC and the CAD, I would like to see how crude reacts to the news before considering a position.
Yeah, I also agree. CAD and oil, and pound afterwards. Yeah.
So this is what we talked about. If you could show my screen, Mauricio. This is what we plan to do. That's a painting of me when I was 23 years old, riding the waves in San Diego. I used to take steroids and human growth hormone.
We're oh so powerful, yeah.
Don't mess with me, Yohay. You may run a marathon, but look at that. Look at those guns. Look at those guns. So ride the wave, post GDP wave. Maybe there'll be something to do.
Yeah. How was that? Ride the wave with Dale Pinkert in the live analysis room, right? That was your motto, right? Ride the wave.
When I had an IB, ride the wave with Pinkert Commodities.
Yeah.
That's when my office was on the beach.
So there is two comments. One is Robert from the chat that he's expecting to see the cable to go down to 142. What do you think, guys? Let's take a look to the cable. Yohay, what do you think?
It's viable.
Yeah, makes sense.
Why?
But
Yeah.
you know, the question is not if, like everything, the timing of it, when
Yes.
is the art and where. So do you just launch here, or do you wait for a pop to 3.5? So I'd rather just wait for strength, and if that opportunity presents itself, consider that. Then putting something on in front of the number, to me, that's a red or black bet, roulette.
See some support there on cable at 142.30, and then 41.25.
You know, a lot of people do trade into these red events, and they'll come to me and go, Dale, I was long the euro before it exploded prior to the Fed or the ECB or the NFP. And my response to that is, great guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just good.
Great guess.
Yeah.
Not that we're, you know, not always guessing, but we have reasons.
Six minutes to go.
Yeah, for 0.8 in GDP expectation. But Valeria said that she won't be surprised if the GDP comes softer, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Me neither, but it's a bit wild, these GDP releases in the United States. There are often surprises, and the revisions are also quite significant. It's different from Europe or the UK, where you have it more or less around expectations, and then hardly any revisions afterwards.
Softer GDP.
Yeah.
I'm tweeting your comment, Val, and Yohay about the softer GDP.
Cool.
Yahoo!
So do you guys think Putin really is going to put together a deal to cut oil production with the Saudis? It was just a rumor that sparked the market.
You'll have to have a grand deal also about Syria with Saudi Arabia, because these countries are on different sides of the Syrian civil war, so
Yeah.
Uphill struggle, I would say.
Yeah, most people are saying it's all smoke.
Yohay, 4X, yeah, a cool nickname, is asking why the revision are so important or are so common in the United States. He asks if about the size of the economy or why. Oh, we lost Valeria. Go ahead, sorry.
I'm here.
Hey!
Can you hear me?
Yes. Sorry, Valeria. Okay, Yohay, sorry for interrupting you.
I don't know. I mean, they released it quite early, and it's a huge country, the world's #1 economy. But it's based on just a few pieces of information. I heard once that the first release is based only on 40% of data, and then we have more data, and the final revision might be a bit less significant. But then about 6 months or 1 year afterwards, we have sort of backwards revision for the past 2 years or so. So we have another grand revision. Even after the final one, it's never final. So I guess just an urge in the United States to get some kind of picture as soon as possible before, and then keep updating once new data comes in. And in other countries, they're slower to release the data, or they invent it, like in China. So then there's no need for revision because they already decided on the numbers. So I guess that's my attempt to explain why we have these kind of revisions.
Well, Ali is asking us about the consensus in the economic calendar. What is the consensus in the economic calendar is based on what figure? Well, we calculate the consensus from some analysts, from Reuters and some analysts also in Bloomberg. We have our own pool of analysts, so we make some mixing figure, we calculate and make an average, and then we publish the consensus in our calendar. That's our we do. That's right, Valeria?
Yeah, and I believe that the numbers are usually the result of the consensus, I mean, right? I can't find the word in English, pools between economists made from big agency news such as Bloomberg, Reuters. In our case, is the Reuters one.
All right.
Hello, Paul. How are you? How's everyone doing today?
One minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Euro dollar 109.17. Pound dollar 121, nice and round. Cable just under 143. Dollar CAD 140.60. Let's see where we'll be afterwards.
Okay, less than 1 minute. Here we go. Cross your fingers, guys.
Yeah.
We have some action. Oh, Swissy pushing the highs.
Cable's been an 800 pip break, some 800 pip break.
0.7.
Okay, worse than expected.
Nice, Val. Good call. So is the dollar, the currency is popping? No. No.
Consumption expenditures are also weak. Canadian data has been weak also.
So for weak data, they're sure not selling the dollar off, are they?
Not much.
No, the euro is weakening, the yen is weakening,
Oil is
pound is
rising.
weakening. No. Oh, come on, I want bigger moves, more than the Fed.
Yeah, come on, guys.
I don't think you're going to get it.
No.
S&P's like it. May come off. That kind of looks constructed, that chart there, that 30-minute euro chart.
Yeah, in Canada we also had GDP released. It came out as expected, 0.3 month over month in November.
Yeah, they're in worse shape than us. What's Mexico's GDP? I'm just thinking about the whole continent here.
I have no idea.
The whole NAFTA. I bet Yohay knows Mexico's GDP.
No, I just know that it's the largest Spanish-speaking country.
Okay. Do you speak Spanish well?
Good enough.
You get by, huh? Well, you know, Cerveza.
It's difficult.
Yeah. Yeah, this weekend I'll be in Seville, and the accent is a bit harder for me to understand. The Andalusian accent, but cerveza is cerveza, so I should survive.
Yeah.
Are you going to see the barber of Seville?
No, I don't have too much hair to go and see. He won't accept me.
It's an opera, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
Okay, so that oil is again the one leading the way in the market, because the only thing I can make out of what just happened is that the oil is getting some support, and therefore the euro and the yen, taking a safe haven or funding currencies, are losing ground, right?
Yes, because all the markets were, tightly correlated to the movements in crude. So crude acting okay gives people more confidence to accept risk at this stage.
Mauricio says he has lost connection.
Who?
Mauricio.
He isn't missing any huge market moves, at least.
Yeah, he's not with.
109.14 on euro dollar.
Looks like it wants to pop. Is that your Yohei's chart?
What?
Like AB. Looks like it wants to pop on Yohei's chart.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm not doing anything. Still probably wants those buy stops over 109.85 before we get a bigger break. That was a weird candle in the Swiss on that chart.
Yeah.
See that one? Where there's that huge tail?
Yeah. That, I guess it was Japan, Bank of Japan.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I was a bit impressed also when I woke up today, but then I see this candle and I say, okay. I noticed the price. It took me a couple of seconds to notice that we were so higher.
That's how they make people go broke.
But I guess
it happened everywhere. It happened in the euro. Yeah, now I notice it.
Yeah,
that's not showing up on my charts. Yeah, it's there.
Yes, it's what's Bank of Japan.
So the Asian markets had the whole range in one candle.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
I'm still seeing the Swiss higher and the euro refusing. The euro is refusing, right? Period. Refusing to go up, refusing to go down. I have little hopes that we can see something different during February. I hope I'm wrong, really. But
maybe it's just going to keep moving and compressing this range.
Yeah, that's what I fear.
Yeah.
Well, I'm back. Sorry about my lockout.
We don't know how many things happen.
Yeah. Well, there was a softer figure, how, like you said before, when you bought Valeria and Yohay, and then, so we are looking. Oh, look at that! It's kind of dollar bullish, right? But
Yeah,
limited, I know. Yeah.
minimum reaction from the market, mixed. And what I can say, as I was saying just a second ago, it's that seems oil is the one again leading the way because it's higher and therefore commodity currencies are higher, right? After the release and the yen lower. But we are talking about 10, 20 pips, so a bit boring.
Yeah.
Maybe when US stocks open, we have a bit more of action.
Yeah.
Well, one of the kings got hammered in the aftermarket yesterday. Amazon.
What? Sorry?
Oh, really? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, widely held. Amazon was down like 13% in the after-hour session yesterday. They beat earnings, but it wasn't good enough.
Yeah, the outlook for was pretty dovish, so Amazon, yeah, the outlook was pretty dovish, but right now it's going up.
Getting a lot of disappointments by what used to be the kings. Apple disappointed.
Yeah, well, Apple was mixed. Apple's earnings was mixed. The sales in iPhone was lower than expected, but you know that Apple is like having only the 12 or 13% of the all smartphone sales, but the market participation, the market quote of Apple in terms of money is like at 94%. So it's amazing. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they produce only the 13 or the 15% of the funds that are sourced, but they are taking the 95% of the money in the market. So amazing. And also Facebook rocket yesterday like a 15% on a bit, on a bit earnings, but also on the news that they will start broadcasting live, like YouTube live. They will have the same product. I promise you, Dale, that we won't move to Facebook anytime soon. So you don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I gave up worrying in 2016.
that's good. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking here a bit at the details of the report, and they're not that bad. Personal consumption came out 2.2 annualized growth, better than 1.8 expected. And inventories, they actually cut about 0.5% from the GDP report. And when inventories are cut down, then we have them replenished in the following quarter. So this gives some hope, looking at the bright side.
Yeah. What about the cat? We got GDP cat GDP there also, and it was softer.
That's a nice look. This triangle.
Yeah.
Which one? Oh yeah, Yohay. Sorry, Yohay, for interrupting you.
Yeah, just put it up.
Okay, the euro is below 900, and the Swiss is at fresh highs.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the euro is giving up.
Yeah, and the Aussie and Canada are going in the opposite direction of the other. And the pound is ready to plummet again.
Yeah.
And
I think
no, it's just to say that I have this trend line from this month low, and we are pressuring it. Below 60 seems we're going down, down, down.
Yeah, it's sure not acting like a petro currency today.
No.
It's how bearish it is, Even when supporting markets are acting okay, it seems to only follow when the correlated market's acting negative.
Yes, at some point I believe that this selling interest around the pound will give up, but so far, so good, right?
Yeah.
There goes the euro towards the daily low.
Yeah, but
Jamie Satley said the Swiss would have trouble at 103, but that's short term. Longer term, he showed a yearly chart that projects U.S. dollar Swiss down to 117.
Yeah, I was watching this yesterday. The euro chop is at its highest since in a year, since the plummet last January.
A few weeks ago, Thomas Jordan said that the franc needs to be weaker, head of the Swiss National Bank, and they seem to have this line in the sand at 107.60, but since then they're pushing it each time a bit higher.
Yep.
I don't have evidence that they're intervening, but they do say that they're participating in currency markets and they want to.
We never have evidence, but we know they do.
Yeah. They don't hide that they do, they just don't tell us when. It's all timing, I guess.
Those gnomes. Those gnomes.
Yeah. Yeah. We were between 107.60 and 109, and now we have a very nice break.
Donald Trump is going to take care of all these currency manipulators.
Yeah.
You were saying that
It will be huge.
Great. Make America great again.
Yeah. He will
it will really
make
talk about
America great again. He will make it huge. Fantastic.
I interviewed someone who was born in Iran yesterday, who's been here since he was 15, my age or older, who thinks America is great. So, maybe America, compared to a lot of other places, I mean, there sure seems to be a lot of people that want to come here. It seems to be the Americans that don't think America is so great anymore. But a lot of people that come here think it is.
Yeah,
Well,
my sister lives in America and she intends to stay, so... Sorry?
Go ahead, go ahead. So, no, go, Yohay.
No, just that. My sister lives in America, in California, in Santa Cruz. Yeah, and...
Santa Cruz, nice.
Santa Cruz is very nice, yes.
She lives in the U.S. already some 6-7 years before, and she lives in New York, and she intends to stay. So...
She's in a beautiful spot, though.
Yeah, hippie town.
Is she near the beach?
Yeah, they live on Pacific Avenue. So, yeah, well, not near, but in the center of town, it's a small town.
Yeah, I bet you can see the ocean.
Yes.
See it, hear it. That's really...
Yeah. So, there is the American dream for everybody that is out south. So, American dream jet. It's different from United States. The demographics are saying that, yeah, people are getting older, and the spending is going down. It's obviously because the demographics, and the future for Americans, North American in this case, are not that bright that it was in the 90s, or the 80s.
Yeah, well, the problem is a lot of people had the dream and now they're living the nightmare.
That's right.
But that's because of how much they had. If you never really had it,
Of course.
I've been to Mexico and have seen on the beach the happiest people that have very little.
Yes.
So it's also because we had all this affluence and people can't adjust to living the life that most people live. So.
Yeah, there is well, I'm from Colombia, so Colombia is like from, I don't know, some people make some surveys and they found that Colombia is the most happy country in the world, but I cannot imagine why, because there is a lot of poverty here, a lot of problems.
But a lot of natural beauty as well, no?
Yeah, that's right.
Colombia is considered one of the most beautiful countries in the world. So.
Yeah, that's right. But that's right. That what Dale said before, that is, if you are happy, it depends on what you had before, and that's a reality. If you are watching the United States, that United States is an empire, and you are looking to the country, and you go to the country, you will see everything fine. But if you have been living in the United States for, let's say, 40 years or 30 years, you will not be happy because the future is not that bright that it used to be. Okay.
Val lived, the people in Argentina, there was a rising middle class, and then they had that major financial crisis, and people were jumping out of their Mercedes-Benz to attack cattle so they could bring home food to their family. So, people adjusted to that in Argentina and didn't give up hope. So I think part of it is just that a lot of us Americans, and I'll include myself, we're spoiled.
Yeah.
Okay, so, you never know what you're made of until adversity strikes. I don't care if it's material or anything else. So Americans are angry. instead of being hopeful and saying that they can come through this.
I believe that happens to all of us. You know, my brother was visiting us yesterday, and he said, "Aren't you surprised that you are four people in this house and you have five phones?" And honestly, he was right because my husband has his cell, I have my cell, my two daughters have each one cell, and we have the house line. So, meaning when I was young, we didn't have even a line, cell phone, you know. And it's true, when we were kids, my mom had to wait like 3 years to get the phone after she asked it for the company. And nowadays,
Right.
my 7-year-old girl has her phone, right? Her own phone.
Right.
It's I don't know. I work and I'm comfortable with them having phones because they can call me. I can call them. I'm always sure where my daughters are. But still, we are four people living in a house and we have five lines. So and we are like used to it, right? So if something happens that we have to give up this comfortable life, and phones are just an example, I mean, right? And we start, I don't know, maybe and closing the phones because we don't have how to pay all of them, then that will make us angry indeed. But it's humans. It's not about being American or
Yeah, you're probably right.
anything.
Anything that makes your life easier that you have to give up.
Yeah, I came here to Spain in 2011, a few years after the crisis, and for me, Spaniards always seem like a bunch of happy people that know how to enjoy life, and life is quite comfortable and good. But they had they had better days before the crisis, before la crisis, when house prices were only going up, people were going on crazy vacations, and they felt like they're in the Champions League of the world.
Yeah.
So in comparison to those crazy years, they're now suffering. But coming from the outside, it's a combination. I mean, good weather, good life.
Yeah. If you work, you will always work in Spain. If you're a hard worker, you will always find work in Spain. You won't starve today because there's no jobs in there, for example.
The climate and the beauty sound pretty good to me, Yohay.
Yeah.
And the quality of life in Spain is
It's
really
high.
good. It's really good. There's food.
Mauricio said I'd like to live there.
Yeah, then you would like to live in Barcelona. I know your style of life, your thinking, and you will fix with Barcelona. Okay, guys. So there is 10 more minutes just yet. So I know they'll have to go for his show. But I want to ask you about the next level to see in Eurodollar, in cable, on the dollar Swiss. So, or perhaps Dale, because I know you have to go to prepare your show. So, can you tell us a recap? What is the pairs to see from now, if you want to start?
I was giving the dollar a chance to be bad yesterday. It was for a while, but you don't learn how to change your mind, you won't have any change left. Euro and pound look negative to me again. The yen looks to be the leader. But it's at resistance. I wouldn't short it here because momentum's looking pretty strong, and the dollar looks good to me. So I think that instead of the stop hunts above the 109.80, they're going to go for the stops under 107.75 and eventually 107.12. That's the way it looks to me going home. Because it was a weaker than expected report, and you can't stop King Dollar, right?
Seems so.
It wasn't as I think. Well, I disagree on that. I think it was less than expected officially, but I think that real expectations were a bit weaker, and with better than expected personal consumption, and the fact that inventories are a drag on GDP, I see it sort of as not too shabby or could have been worse.
Okay.
The market was more in a tin hat mode, and it's not good. It's not good. Good
Yeah,
number,
not
but
too hot, not too cold. It's like the porridge, right? Little Red Riding Hood. Anyway, that's my view. Dollar looks like the path of least resistance is higher. It had a chance to be bad yesterday, and it let that chance slip away. So I'm looking for a down euro.
Down euro and dollar king.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Dave, for
All right,
being with
listen,
us.
guys. Have a great weekend. I'll
What
see
a
you.
week.
I'll see. Have a nice trip, Yohay.
Thanks.
Okay, Mauricio. I'll see everyone in the room.
Okay, see you in 10 minutes in the live analysis room.
All right, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Good hunting.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
thank you.
Bye.
So, Valeria, what levels we
Well,
need to watch in cable and euro and Japanese yen?
well, for the euro, the median support is around 850 for me, 840. This is a Fibonacci level, and the pair has stalled around it many times. And if we take it, we can go all the way down to 800 today. And particularly if this current dollar strength remains after the US opening. I'm not seeing much of an upward potential. 880, 920, 30 is the resistance. Will probably remain capped by that area if somehow the rally reverses. And the pound looks really weak. We have these lows around 42.30, which Yohay mentioned already earlier today. So I would say that a bit below that level, the decline may resume towards 41.70. It's the more bearish one. The pound is the weakest. It's still the weakest. So I do believe that that's the way to go. And spikes, I really believe that spikes are still seen as selling opportunities, 43.10 and 43.60 are my levels. And for the dollar Japanese yen, unbelievable. We're about to take that high, so if we take it, 21.70 in the short term, right? Comes as the first resistance, and then we can go up to 22.20 or so. And those are my levels. I'm not seeing clear whatever's going on in the Aussie, but what I can see is that we broke this daily ascendant trend line, and yesterday, we have been pulling back to it, and so far the price has refused to remain above the trend line. So maybe selling against the trend line if we break the daily low could be another interesting trade today. That the Aussie will depend, however, on how oil behaves, right? If oil gets weaker, the Aussie and the CAD will weaken also.
Okay. Thank you, Val. So,
Thank you.
thank you for being with us. It has been a pleasure. What a week. It's been like two events and quiet reactions. No, it's okay. Okay. So, thank you, Val. So, yeah, go ahead.
Thank you and bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye,
you,
Yohay.
Valeria.
Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Yohay, it's you and me now. And I want to ask you about your approach on what happened today with the GDP and what's going on in the United States and what is the most possible outcome in Forex.
Well, more movement than we had in the Fed, specifically in Eurodollar. It's on the move, 50 or so pips lower. I think the outcome was sort of a bit better than expected because of consumer, personal consumption, and inventories. And I think markets were awaiting a worse outcome. So that's dollar positive, and especially against the euro. Finally, it's moving. Basically, it's just moving back into the range, back to the levels we've seen beforehand. So it also makes sense. It's not like we have a breakdown or a breakup. Anyway, yeah, the next moves, I think Eurodollar is still stuck in range 107.80 and 110, but the actual range is much smaller. I have this chart here with the triangle, and it's not about to pop anytime soon, I think. And the yen is, as Val said, moving on the Bank of Japan, and like Dale said, it's close to resistance. And air is becoming a bit thin over there. I don't think it can have enough momentum to continue higher. Pound, yeah, more pressure to the downside because of what Carney said in the past. Commodity currencies, well, I have nothing else to add after what Val said. I'll just say one last thing, that it's the end of the month and then the end of the very turbulent month in markets. And this means we also have end of month flows, and we could have choppy action, especially around the London fix, which is 3 GMT, if I'm not mistaken, in an hour from now. But also before that and after that, so just be careful out there.
Okay, thank you, Yohay, for being with us. It has been a pleasure for second time this week. Yeah, I invite everybody to join Yohay in his European Live Open Market. Yeah, can you explain us what do you do in your show, the daily show?
Yeah, sure. Well, we talk about everything that happened in the last 24 hours, fundamentals that moves markets, what technical levels we're watching on charts, talk about the next events to watch out for markets. And the most important part of the show of every morning is your questions. We have a live chat, and I try to provide the most detailed answers as possible. On Fridays, we also do a preview for the next week's events. And that's it, every morning, 8 GMT. Specifically next week, there will not be a show on Monday, only the week will begin for me on Tuesday, but we'll recap everything, GDP, everything on Monday, Tuesday, everything. No worries.
Okay, Yohay, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you,
have
Mauricio.
a good trip, good time in Seville, and see you on Tuesday.
Okay, have a great weekend. Bye.
Okay, guys. You remember that we got a softer GDP, 0.7. There is the King dollar again, some gains, but limit. Don't trap your trade. Be quiet in front of the weekend, and see you. Well, just right now, just refresh your page, and you will see Dale Pinkert in his live analysis room. See you in a while. Bye bye. Refresh. Bye bye. See you later.